All right, hello and welcome. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the magic that makes the web move, click, and just come alive. We're talking about JavaScript, and in the next few minutes, we're going to break down the absolute fundamentals together.
I mean, think about it. You can have a web page that looks beautiful, but if it just sits there, it's just a static document. So what gives it that spark? What turns a boring page into an actual interactive experience? That is the exact question we're here to answer.
Okay, let's use an analogy here, because it's a really good one. Think of a website like a house. HTML, that's your blueprint. It's the walls, the rooms, the actual structure. CSS is all the fun stuff, the paint, the furniture, all the styling that makes the house look good. But JavaScript? JavaScript is the electricity and the plumbing. It's the stuff that makes the house actually work. It's what lets you flip a light switch and have something happen. So sticking with our house analogy, let's flick on those lights and take a much closer look at JavaScript itself. What really is this language that's powering so much of the modern web? Now, there's a really key phrase on this slide, client side. What in the world does that mean? Well, it just means the code runs directly on your computer, right there inside your browser. See, before this was a thing, every little click you made had to take a long, slow trip to a server, somewhere and back again. Client-side scripting was a game changer because it made websites feel fast, responsive, more like an app than just a page.
And let's just clear something up right now, because this trips up everybody. Java and JavaScript are not the same thing. Not even a little bit. Java is a big, heavy-duty language for building massive, standalone applications. JavaScript, on the other hand, was born and bred for the web. It was designed by Netscape to be way simpler, a language that literally lives inside of web pages.
All right, enough theory, right? Let's get our hands dirty and actually look at some code. It's time to see just how simple it is to give a browser its very first instruction with JavaScript. And here it is. This is the hello world. It's a rite of passage for a reason. You are literally telling the web pages document to write the text hello world right onto the screen. It's simple, it's direct, and it just works. So where does this command actually go? Well, you wrap it inside these things called script tags, right there in your HTML file. Think of it like a signpost for the browser that just says, hey, pay attention, everything between these tags is JavaScript, and you need to run it.
Okay, so we can tell the browser to write stuff on the screen. That's cool, but what if we want our scripts to be, smarter? What if they need to remember things? For that, we need a way to store information.
And this leads us to one of the most important ideas in all of programming, the variable. The slide calls it a container, and honestly, that's the perfect way to think about it. A variable is just a labeled box. You can put some data inside it, a number, a bit of text, whatever, and anytime you need that information later, you just call the box by its name. Of course, you can't just name these boxes anything you want. There are a few simple rules, as you can see here. They have to start with a letter or an underscore. No spaces allowed. And really important, you can't use special reserved words like the word if, because JavaScript is already using those words for its own purposes. These rules just make sure our instructions are crystal clear, so the browser never gets confused.
And this is what makes variables so powerful. Just look at this code. We have one single box, one variable, called myvar. First, we put hello world in it. Then we take that out and put I am learning JavaScript inside instead. We can change what's inside that box as many times as we want. That ability to reuse and change things is what makes code so flexible and dynamic. Okay, so we can store information in our little boxes, our variables. But just storing data isn't all that useful by itself. We need to be able to do things with it. We need to do math, compare things, make decisions. And for that, we need a special set of tools. In JavaScript, we call those tools operators. So think of operators as the action words of JavaScript. They're the verbs. They're just symbols that take our data and perform some kind of task. Whether that's adding two numbers together or checking if one thing is bigger than another, an operator is what gets the job done.
And the most common operators are the ones we all recognize from math class. You can see them here. Plus for adding, minus for subtracting. You get the idea. That last one, the percent sign, is a little different. It's called modulus, and it's super handy. It just gives you the remainder after you do division. So for example, 10 divided by 5 has no remainder, so the modulus is 0. Simple as that.
And here we can see those exact operators in a real script. We've stored some numbers in our variables a and b, and then we use the plus, minus, division, and modulus operators to calculate totally new results and then write them to the page. This right here is the heart of how programs do calculations.
Okay, let's zoom out a bit. We've looked at commands, we've looked at variables for storing data, and we've looked at operators for working with that data. Now, let's connect those simple little building blocks to the incredible things they make possible all over the web.
I mean, everything you see on this list is built using the exact fundamentals we just talked about. Checking if you entered a valid email in a form. That's just JavaScript using operators to compare text. A drop-down menu that pops up when you click, that's JavaScript changing what you see on the screen. Image sliders, live clocks, even simple games. They all start with these same building blocks, variables, operators, and a few other core ideas.
So there you have it. We've just taken our first look inside the web developer's toolbox. We've seen how a few simple rules and a few simple symbols are really the foundation for creating these rich, amazing, interactive experiences that we all use every single day. So the only real question left is, what will you build with them?